You're listening to Home Sweet Home with Russ, McClellan, and friends. And here's Russ.
Hey, welcome back. I'm with Michael Maher. How you doing, Michael? Thanks for calling in.
Good. Happy to be here. Ready to spread some knowledge on everyone listening.
Yeah, Michael with Prime Lending and Sharon Crockett have been working with us as preferred lenders at Keller Williams for quite some time. We are almost 3 years old, Michael, so we're getting to be all veterans in this real estate game. And in and around North Central Washington. But one of the hot topics that we like to talk about is interest rates. I think they've been at historical lows for so long, it's almost like we're getting accustomed to that. But there is a rude awakening that could happen, isn't there, with rates?
Yeah, definitely. And in fact, it's already kind of happening a little bit, not to the degree that it could, but for those that don't know, interest rates normally track the bond market, 10-year Treasury note. Not always, but that is a good indicator. And over the past 2020, they've been kept artificially low. And at a certain point, everyone's kind of been under the understanding that it was going to catch up sooner or later. And it seems that it has, as of right now. Obviously, this is subject to change, but, a standard rate, you could get anywhere from 2.625 to 2.825 on a 30-year fix, depending on credit, down payment, all those factors. And now they're sitting anywhere from 3.25 to 3.375. So it went up pretty significantly. Those other rates may still be available. It's just they're going to cost a little bit more to get. So it's really a matter of how much you're wanting to spend, what makes sense, how long you're going to hang on to the loan. These are all, or stay in the home. These are all things that we talk about, whether or not paying points to buy rates down is beneficial to you at that time. But the overall standard of the rates is seeming to go up. We're still at historic lows. I mean, low threes, maybe high twos, depending on the loan type, is still amazing, but we are seeing it trend upwards. So with that being said, there's no better time, if it's the right time for you, to purchase a home or think about refinancing, because based on the projections that we've heard from different top economists, the rates could end up in the high threes, low fours. Now, granted, we don't have a crystal ball, but based on signs and where all the indicators are, we could see, them hit those marks. And at that point, you'll have lost out on what history will know is probably the single greatest rate decrease of all time. I mean, we don't know, but so it's some interesting facts to note on what rates are doing and that they are fluctuating right now.
Yeah, and it's important to remember that once upon a time, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, I guess it was 15, 16 years ago now, when time flies when you're having fun selling real estate. But back in 2004 to 2006, before the Great Recession of 2008 smacked us in the face, everybody thought things were nice and rosy, making money. Everybody could get a loan. It was unique times, but rates were pretty low from 2004. But from 2004 to 2006, the federal fund raised the federal fund rate 16 times, I believe. And when it starts, for whatever reason, economically, and there's a lot of variables, and I, in today's world, won't even though I studied it in college years and years ago, I wouldn't even try to attempt it, because I don't know how anybody predicts anything right now. But I do know that you're right with respect to when you get down to zero on the federal fund rate, it's hard to go below zero. So there's probably only one way to go, and it's not any lower. And this is true for all of your programs, isn't it? And I mean, you have FHA loans, VA loans, enhancement loans. What are you have a lot of programs at Prime Lending, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. And it's across all the board. On all the programs, rates are steadily increasing. And some programs, depending on what they are a little bit more volatile. When it comes to refis, maybe that's a cash out. Rates are going to be usually higher than if you're just adjusting the rate in the term. And that's all just going to depend on the individual.
Yeah, and you have what programs do you offer people that you would consider more specialist type loans or specialized loans?
Yeah, one of them in particular that we really pride ourselves on is a rehab loan. And that's the normal, what a lot of people know it by. We like to call it enhancement loan, renovation loan. But basically what you do is you take whatever you want to do to the home, whether it's just in complete disarray or you just want to make some simple upgrades. So floors, roof, there's some repairs that need to be done in the bathrooms, there's mold. There can be all sorts of things that you can actually finance in on top of the purchase price. And then when the appraisal is ordered and the appraisal is determining the value of the home, you can actually use that work that's being bidded out as if it's going to be done. And then the appraiser will take that work and value the property as if the work's already been done. So you can finance in, still do, 5% down or even 3.5% down. So minimum down payments, and you can finance in. I mean, we've had people add second stories onto their home, and these are $250,000 projects that are being financed on top of the loan that's already there, and they're getting value on top of that value. So those are very, very popular. I know you wanted to make an important note about those regarding sellers, right?
Yeah, well, here's what we hear all the time. Yeah, sounds great, Russ. I'd like to sell my house. I'd like to be debt-free and capture that tremendous amount of equity. But here's the problem. I turn into a buyer on the other side of the coin. Now I got to face these retail prices. What I hear and what almost every real estate broker in the business hears is essentially what they're saying is I want to sell retail and buy wholesale so I can capture my equity, be debt-free, or whatever you want to do, go on a trip for the next 5 years. Whatever suits your fancy, right? Well, the problem is that you invert that. So what I want people to do is think about things not so traditionally and think about this. What if you sell your house for retail, capture all that equity, and then add some creativity to your buying decisions? And what I mean by that is, let me ask you a question, Michael. Out of 100% of the people, how many that you have done, the last 100 loans that you've done for residential, how many wanted at least a 3-bedroom house?
I'd say pretty much all of them.
Right, 100 out of 100. So what happens, and here's the little real estate hack. What dictates price in most things is supply and demand. All right, so most people are looking for 3+ bedrooms, 3, 4, 5-bedroom homes. So there's this big jump from 2-bedroom to 3-bedroom because not very many people type in 3-bedroom when they're searching on the internet for a house. So here's my little hack. Start looking for 2-bedrooms houses as a buyer and add the bedrooms with the enhancement or rehab loan. So now you're going to be able to look for good real estate, meaning the dirt, look for the house you want, but then think in terms of architectural design, think in terms of additions, and all of a sudden create that instant equity and don't buy retail. In this little formula, little hack on mortgage, now you can sell retail, buy wholesale, add to it, and now you captured equity one more time. Just through a little creativity. What do you think of that?
Yeah, it's great. And what a lot of people, and I can go one step further, and some people might say, well, what if it's septic? What if it's only rated for 2 bedrooms or 2 bathrooms? Then, that's okay. You know what? Upgrade the septic. That can be included as well. So you bring up a very good point on creativity, and there's really nothing you can't do on these loans. You just have to find a contractor that's willing to help you out, maybe have that vision and give you a bid, and then we handle the rest.
Yeah, when you're in a market that has a very low inventory status like ours is, we're 75% down year over year in inventory. What you need to do, whether you're looking for a home with a shop for your RV, whether you're looking for a home with a pool, or whether you're looking with a certain amount of square footage or certain amount of bedrooms, don't put narrow parameters on your goal. Use Michael at Prime Lending's enhancement loan and just simply look at the location. As long as there's a few walls and a roof, you can add the rest. Plug in that architectural design, plug in with an architect, plug in the contractor, and then create that dream home with if a shop's what you want, add a shop. If it's a pool's what you want, add a pool. If you want 2 more bedrooms, but it only has a septic, change a septic. Or, simply don't put closets in them, right? They're bonus rooms, they're dens. With that being said, Michael, with this creativity, what can somebody right now count on for when they're all done wrapping up the construction or adding a shop or adding a pool? What's the rate right now on the enhancement loan?
Yeah, the rate as of right now, they're usually only about 1/4 to 0.5% more than any other standard. I would say more so on the quarter. So if rates right now are at 3%, then I would say maybe 3.25. And that's not to say 3% is not available, but when you're talking points and buying those down, par, paying no points might be at around 3%. And then if vice versa. So, 3.25 on a renovation. And that's just an example. Rates will differ from, day to day. So, but that gives you an idea of what they might, fluctuate.
Yeah. When I got into the real estate business in the late 80s, I started at 10%. And I know people that were back when Jimmy Carter was president, they remember prime at 19%. So
they were still buying houses.
They're still buying houses. This addiction to 3% is just cracking me up. It's crazy times. Anyway, great talking to you, Michael. How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, my number is 425-760-8824, and that's my cell. So you can text or call me anytime, and I'll respond usually within a minute or so, and we can have a conversation about what your goals are.
All right. Thanks, Michael. Get outside, play in the sun, have fun with your friends and family. Thanks for tuning in to one more show of Home Sweet Home with Russ, McClellan, and friends. Have a great day.